Arum, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Here we are, fight week. Shakur, kind of starting the F1 weekend for here for Vegas and everything. Man, in your experience, all your experience in boxing, where does Shakur rank on difficulty in finding opponents for? Because I feel like when his name comes up, people kind of maybe stop answering the phone or something.
Well, again, at this point in his career, Shakur is a tough guy to fight, and he's not yet a pay-per-view star that can bring a lot of money through pay-per-view. But that'll happen, and then people will be more willing to get in the ring with him because it'll be a big payday. So boxing has always been risk-reward. Shakur is an enormous talent, and I really can't blame a lot of the fighters for not wanting to step up and face him.
You know, there was that offer from Devin Haney, I believe it was 25% to Shakur. He's been vocal about why he didn't take it. He kind of thought maybe going the WBC route, maybe being a mandatory through them, he couldn't force it.
Let me tell you something. That offer, that wasn't an offer. That was all bullshit. That was also, talking in the media. There was no proposal on Haney's part to fight Shakur, none at all. As a matter of fact, when we talked to Bill, he didn't seem anxious for Devin to fight Shakur, pretty much because Devin was having trouble with the weight and is looking to establish a beachhead at 140 pounds.
So if it wasn't like an official offer or anything, why is that rumor even out there like that?
Because it's boxing. It's all, half of the stuff that's out there is baloney. has no real credibility. But, boxing is the kind of sport, like it's the Wild West, and fighters say things that are only half true, but there was no offer made for Shakur Stevenson to fight Devin Haney. None at all.
With a victory for Shakur on Saturday night, if he were to get a victory against a tough, Dos Santos knockout artist, what do you see as the plan forward for Shakur?
Well, he'll campaign in the lightweight division. There are a lot of fighters for him to fight at lightweight. There's Lomachenko, and many people thought really beat Haney. There's others than Lomachenko. There's Kambosos. Because Shakur fights for ESPN, and because we have fairly deep pockets, we can get him, Shakur that is, attractive opponents.
Just switching gears here, I saw Teofimo Lopez, recently kind of on social media, taking out the trash or something, kind of joking around about saying, being a garbage man has better money than boxing. I know you and Oscar have both mentioned Teofimo possibly facing Ryan Garcia. Just what's the latest with Teofimo? What's going on?
Well, we hope to get that fight done sometime in February. Meanwhile, Garcia has a fight before then, but I don't think there's going to be that much difficulty putting a Teofimo Ryan fight together for the end of February.
Just want to talk about Tyson Fury and Ngannou. That was kind of a crazy scenario that almost happened. I mean, Ngannou, first boxing match ever, had one of the greatest heavyweight boxing champions ever on the ground. What was your kind of emotions when you saw Tyson kind of hit the ground there? What were you thinking?
Well, I was stunned, but I said to everybody that Ngannou had a puncher's chance, that he's a tremendously hard puncher, and he can put heavyweights down on the ground. I don't think Tyson was prepared for that tough a fight. I thought he clearly won the fight, but Ngannou gave a good account of himself.
What do you rank Ngannou in the top? I don't know, maybe 5, 10 heavyweights right now, just based on that performance, how well he did.
Well, I think we got to see Ngannou against the top heavyweight, who is really prepared for him, before we can opine about how good Ngannou is. But it looks to me that with experience and training, Ngannou belongs at the top level in the heavyweight division.
And now, I believe it got announced today. February 17th is the date for Fury Usyk. Is that correct? Can you confirm?
I don't know.
It was ESPN actually that said
that
it.
Announced it today.
Yeah, it said something like
well,
that.
Well, then that must be the case. I mean, I know. I can't. I was told not to reveal the date until Thursday, but maybe somebody jumped the gun.
But so it looks like Saudi Arabia for Undisputed is
yes, definitely. That definitely.
Is there any concern going into the Usyk fight, being Fury's promoter, just based off of Fury's last performance, maybe, or do you have any concern that maybe he's not maybe his best days are behind him?
Well, that always can be the case. I don't believe it's the case that his best days are behind him. I really believe that when he fights Usyk, he has a body of work to study Usyk and know how to approach him. With Ngannou, he was dealing with a blank slate. Nobody had ever seen Ngannou in a boxing ring. So, I think he'll be better prepared against Usyk. But Usyk is a terrific fighter, and it's not an easy out. I think it'll be a very competitive fight.
Just last couple from me. Anthony Joshua looks like he's going to come back on the same card as Deontay Wilder, just not facing each other, unfortunately. Well, why do you think that fight I feel like it just can't get over the line for as many years as we've been talking about it?
Well, again, I don't know. Maybe it's how much the guys want to face each other. And it's always a possibility that the Saudis come up with the money for that fight. Because, again, a regular promoter has to look at profit and loss. But the sovereign fund, building the Riyadh as a sports destination doesn't necessarily have to look at profit and loss.
Can you get that, Bob? Oh. And just last one, David Benavidez is facing Bubu Andrade. Very difficult style matchup Bubu gives people. It's kind of why he hasn't gotten big fights, but David is kind of difficult style matchup as well, right? How do you think stylistically that plays out in the ring?
Well, I've been big fans for a long time, not only for David, but for his brother Jose, who used to fight for us. They're terrific fighters. Andrade is what we used to call a stinker. That doesn't mean that he can't fight. He just sort of stinks out an opponent. But I like Benavidez brothers in both fights.
Oh, that's a big. Even Jose over Charlo. Huh?
Absolutely.
Why Jose over Charlo? What?
Jose is a really good fighter. I mean, he gave Crawford hell until he ran out of gas. Those Benavidez brothers know how to fight.
Definitely, Bob. True.